We are in ninth grade lit. We're reviewing vocabulary for next week's quiz. We'll start with Campbell. The word is scourge. I've actually heard it pronounced scourge, but I've heard it more pronounced scourge. You can pronounce it either way, but I think you'll probably hear it scourge. What'd you get?
I have scourge. It's a noun, an instrument of punishment or criticism, but it can also be a verb to punish severely. And I said COVID continues to be a scourge in the world today.
That's a great analogy. See, it's not, it literally is a whip, right? So you could scourge somebody, hit somebody with a whip. It's a verb or it's a noun. But I like the way you used it is like the COVID is like that whip that punishes, something that punishes. I like that. Prudent. Jonathan.
I have it as an adjective, careful in providing for the future. A prudent choice will save us thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and if you have any words that have to do with wisdom, that's also what prudent is. Careful, cautious, shrewd, wise, providing for the future, all those words. Renege.
Renege. I have that as a verb to go back on one's word.
Right, or a promise. You promise you're going to be there, but you didn't show up. You reneged on your promise. How did you use it?
You reneged and decided not to help with the program.
Right, so you didn't follow through with your word. Anathema, Tate.
Someone intensely loathed or disliked. And,
Yes.
I don't have a sentence for that.
All right. Anybody have a sentence for that? Yeah, Jonathan.
Math became an anathema.
I like that. He said somebody, but in your case, you used it as like a discipline or something, as a subject. It can be maybe I don't know if it's an adjective, but it is a noun. We'll use it as a noun. You can't anathema somebody. It is not a verb. I didn't say you had to find out the part of speech, but you notice we are talking about the part of speech. So if you use a word that's not that part of speech, like you try to write a sentence like I anathemaed somebody, it's wrong because it's not a verb. And I like that sentence. Wassail, Jack.
A toast or a drink with someone.
So it can be a verb, you wassail, or it can be a drink. And I usually think of Christmas, there's actually a Christmas song. Here we come, or go wassailing. So it's a special kind of drink. How did you use it?
At the wedding, there was a wassail at the happy couple before everyone ate.
Good, yeah. Malignant, Anna Grace.
An adjective tending to produce death, to speed, my sentence is to speed along the process of killing the pig, we served it a,
The word's malignant?
malignant amount of poison.
Okay, it is malignant, is it cancer? Yeah, it can be, use it as an adjective. What was your sentence, definition again?
Tending to produce death.
Death, yeah. Anything that's malignant will produce death. Or you could say it's very harmful or it's evil. If heaven forbid that you would have to deal with cancer or know anybody, if you ever hear somebody has a malignant cancer, that's not good. If you hear they have a benign cancer, that's okay because the benign means it's harmless. The malignant means it's harmful. It's the kind you got to get rid of. They might get rid of the benign one too, but it won't spread. Beset. Okay. How about it? Beset. Lena.
I said it was a verb to be covered or studied with.
Yeah, that's true. It can also mean to harass. Like if you're beset with problems, you not just have one problem, you got loads of problems. Like they're all around. The army beset the town. That means it kind of surrounded it and came at it from all angles. That's also probably in this context, that's probably the one that they meant. I don't remember how it's used, but in this sense it means to harass or surround. And I just gave you a context. Yeah.
Could it also work as a persistent thing, like being persistent?
Yeah, to persist, it's persistent and constant and also all around you, lots of it. Neil, what about parlay?
Well, I had a conference between two opposing sides
Yes, conference is a good synonym for a parlay. What is that place over in England where they make all the laws? I think the word parliament is from the word parlay, right? Because they conference, they get together, so, good word. It is it can be a noun or you can parlay. Parlez-vous, s'il vous plaît, ever heard that? It's only French, I remember it. I mean, do you speak French? So it does mean to speak as well. How about feign, one of my favorite words?
I just have a noun, there was a man, kind of like, my name is
Yeah, you could call him a prince, an important person in the Middle Ages. We don't have things anymore. Did you have a sentence?
The young man had lots of women since he was 10.
Okay, so it's a prince, an important person, particularly in the Middle Ages. Did any of you ever know the Hassas? Was it who was it last year? Not Isaac, but
EJ?
yeah, EJ. His his name is Thing, and I always thought that would be a cool name for somebody, a boy's name. Yeah. How about interloper?
Interloper, a person involved in a place they don't feel like they don't belong or not comfortable.
Yes.
And my sentence was, I love the city, I feel like an interloper in the forest.
Yeah, so if you're interrupting, if you are, interrupting, you're not supposed to be there, that's an interloper, and you said that well. Okay, one more time around, we ought to be able, yeah. We did Owen, right? Did you do one? Owen?
Yes, I did.
Okay, all right, so let's go back to proper.
Verb to present for acceptance. He proffered advice on how to best proceed.
It rhymes with offer, and it means kind of like the same. Here, I'm presenting it to you. When you offer something, you're not forcing it on somebody, right? You're here it is. I'm offering you a drink. I'm offering you a snack. You're not saying, drink this, so it means to present. I like that. How'd you use it?
I said, he preferred advice on how best to proceed.
Yeah, to proffer advice means to present it, to suggest it. I like that. Lament, Jonathan.
Mourn for or whatever.
All right, it is a verb. It can be a noun. How did you use it?
A long lament took place after the king died.
Right, so if you lament something, there's a book of the Bible with that word in it.
Lamentation.
All right, so a lament and a lamentation are similar. How about Tim? Filigree.
I put an ornamental work of fine, typically gold or silver wire formed into delicate tracery.
Yeah, that's correct. Ornamental, it's a filigree it's a noun, so it's an ornamental design, usually with gold or something. It can be woven, but it's an ornamental design, delicate thread that's that way. How did you use it?
I said the filigree would be pretty on the ring.
Yeah, okay. How about conjure? We'll go to tape first.
Oh, yeah, bang.
Bang.
Good man.
You do that.
A source of harm or ruin. And I said, the Vikings were a bane to the village.
Right. So somebody that is a like you say, a poison or something. There's a character in a movie. Like it was a Marvel movie, and it was a bad guy. His name was Bane, and that's. You remember what that was? It was like the X-Men or something. I don't know. I don't watch those very often, but I did see this one. Conjure. Okay, conjure. Jack.
To charge or retreat slowly. To follow fun by the magic. Is that right?
Conjure.
Like The Conjuring, have you seen the movie?
I have not.
It's a
Let's
horrible
use
movie.
to follow retreat.
Yes, but it said on.
Okay, let's use this one. Let's use the one to produce by magic.
Yeah.
Like you conjure something up. A wizard would conjure something with a potion or something like that. However, you could use it. Like at the last minute, my wife, like by magic, conjured up a meal out of nothing. It's not real magic, but it's like that's how amazing it was. It just came out of nowhere almost. Yeah.
Can I get a sentence for that one?
Say that
Can I
again?
get a sentence?
Yeah.
Okay. Magicians can conjure coins from behind your ear.
One more time.
Magicians can conjure coins
Yeah.
from behind your ear.
Yeah, what if, sleight of hand, it's really in their hand the whole time, you didn't see it, and they pull it out of your ear, but that's a good word. Good sentence.
Wait, so what would you like the definition of?
To produce by magic, or if by magic. And it's not really magic, but it's like magic. It's like out of nowhere.
Thank you.
All right, Anna Grace, ignominious.
Shame or infamy that say it.
Ignominious. Ignominious. Five.
Has tried to ruin my beautiful artwork.
Yeah, shameful, that's a good sentence. Shameful, disgraceful, it's ignominious. Many are saying that about our withdrawal from Afghanistan. It was an ignominious retreat. Redress. Redress and requite are similar, so Leno, redress.
I have it as a noun, a remedy or compensation for a wrong or grievance. And the sentence was, I had my friend trying to redress the situation, but it was too late.
Yeah, and give me your definition again. It was correct, I just wanted to hear it.
A remedy or compensation for a wrong or grievance.
Yeah, please, if I say it, it gets stuck in your head. It's not to be taken literally. In a way it is. Like you dress the first time, I don't like that, I'm gonna redress, I'm gonna fix it. That's, I guess you could use it that way, but that's not what it means. It means to fix something, it's to make something better, to correct it. Requite, Neil, what you get for that?
To make an appropriate return for a favor or service.
Yes, okay, so to requite means to pay back. Like, you did something for me, Neil, I'm gonna requite that good deed by doing something for you. It's paying back. I guess you could do it in a bad way. You know, somebody does something, you get revenge. It's kind of like that. So it can be positive or negative. I'm gonna pay him back. You're gonna pay for that. You know, that could be all sorts of things, but that's what requite means. Okay, Owen, sumptuous.
I have an adjective extremely costly, rich, or magnificent.
Yes. Lavish, luxurious.
Yeah, but the cruise ship offered many sumptuous accommodations.
Very good. And Taylor, effulgent.
Effulgent. After that is shining bright, and my senses as the stars are effulgent.
Yes, very good. I'm going to give you these last four to save us some time. Boon, B-O-O-N, is a blessing. There might be other words, but something was a boon. That means it was a benefit. It was a blessing. Ravenous means very hungry or rapacious. The ravenous dog ate his meal in a few minutes. Depredation. Depredation is a plundering or laying waste to something. A depredation would be like the Huns came through the village and there was great depredation when they left. That means there was great plundering, waste, pillage, and how that works. And finally, mere, as a noun, not as an adjective. Who can tell me what that means? Yes.
Being nothing more than.
Yes, but we don't want to use it that way. We want to use it as a noun. And what did you get? Take.
Sorry. I got. An expanse of standing water.
Yes, we might call that a swamp or a marsh or a fen, F-E-N. So we're going to use it that way because that's where Grendel's mother lives. Grendel actually lives in a mere. He lives in a swamp. He lives underwater in a swamp. All right, so again, I'll have to check, add it to the schedule, but let's look at next week. Let's see, today's Wednesday or Thursday. If it doesn't work, I do it Friday. We'll do it next week. I just need to, I need to do it that way. So go ahead and get your book out. We have 20 minutes. And I know Campbell read yesterday, didn't you read? I'm going to start on the other end and work my way back this way because I don't remember exactly where we left. I think we read over to page 5. So turn to page 5. We answered the first 3 questions. look at the bottom of page 3 just a minute. I want you to write something in the margin. And what I want you to write, notice this, the last 3 lines. It says, "And a young prince must be prudent like that, giving freely while his father lives. So afterwards, in age when fighting starts, steadfast companions will stand by him and hold the line." Would you write the words, I think they're still on the board, treasure giving?
Yes.
Okay, did we do that yesterday?
Yes.
Okay, so I didn't do it to everybody, yes.
May I get something out of my locker?
Yeah, we're gonna start there. I'm gonna ask Owen to start, so. You can read this whole page, Owen, or you can read half of it, but we're on page 5.
Half of, which one?
Shield was still thriving on page 5,
And it reads to line 40.
or all of it, you choose. Neil will pick it up, or you let go.
I'll read to the master. Shield was still thriving when his time came and he crossed over into the Lord's keeping. This warrior band did what he bade them when he laid down the law among the names. They shouldered him out to the sea's flood, the chief they revered who had gone with them. A ringed world canal rode into the harbor, ice-clad, outbound, a craft for a friend. They stretched their beloved Lord in his boat, laid out by the mast amidships the great ring giver. Far-fetched treasures were piled upon him, and the precious gear. I never heard before of a ship so well furbished with battle tackle, bladed weapons, and coasts of men.
Do you wanna pick it up there?
Oh, yeah. The mass treasure was loaded on top of him. It would travel far on out into the ocean sway. It ejected his body no less bountifully with offerings than those first ones did, who cast him away when he was a child, and lashed him alone out over the waves. And they set a gold standard up, high above his head, and let him drift to wind and tide, bewailing him and mourning their loss. No man can tell no wise man in a hall or their brethren knows for certain who salvaged that load. Then it
All right,
fell,
good, you can stop there, and look at question number 4.
bewailing.
Shield died, and what was his funeral like? How did they bury him?
In the sea,
In a boat,
like where they push him out.
they put him in the boat and they push him out. What else was in the boat with him?
Like battle gear.
Yes. Yes, all battle kind of stuff. So it's probably also very valuable. That's kind of odd. I thought the deal was you can't take it with you. It sounds like he took it with him. You know, they say you can't take it with you. So what does that tell you? The question is, what does that tell you? It says, can you compare this to the Egyptians or the Greeks? But what does that tell you about their view of, say, the afterlife?
Oh, like you take it with you, so like you not show your importance, like have the things you had in your past life.
Yes, you do take it with you. That's kind of sad, isn't it? Because we know you don't take it with you. You know that. Nobody has ever taken it with you except for Jesus. So it's kind of sad to think that people really think, oh, I got this, I'll take this when I die, I'll go. You do take certain things with you. You don't even take your body with you. That's the other thing. You take your soul alone goes. All right, so the thing about reading books like this, you learn those little things, like how do they view the afterlife and so forth. So we will move on to 5, Shield is dead, and Celeste, would you read, start at the bottom of page 5, and just over to the next break.
Then it fell to Beowulf to keep the forts. He was well regarded and ruled the Danes for a long time after his father took leave of his life on earth. And then his heir, the great half-Dane, held sway for as long as he lived, their elder and warlord. He was 4 times a father, whose fighter prince. One by one they entered the world. Herogar, Hrothgar, Helga, and a daughter I had heard, who was a
All right, so if you're keeping a record, we've been given the names of 3 kings. The first one was Shield, we talked about him. The second was Bow, B-E-O-W, or you can say Beo, like is in Beowulf, but I call him Bow. And the last one was Halfdan. For some reason, he wants to give us this background, and so Halfdan has 1, 2, 3 children. 4 children, the girl, right? Okay. So there's one girl, in this culture, she doesn't have a chance being she can marry a king, but in this culture, it doesn't look like she would have the opportunity. Harogar, Hrothgar, and Helga. We'll keep reading, and you're going to find out that there's 4. Take out the daughter, there's 3. We'll see who's the 4th king and who takes his father's place. Lana, you can read to the bottom, or why don't you just read to the bottom?
The fortunes of war favored Hrothgar. Friends and kinsmen flocked to his ranks. Young followers, a force that grew to be mighty army. So his mind turned to Halberton. He handed down orders for men to work on a great mead hall, meant to be a wonder of the world forever. It would be his throne room, and there he would dispense his God-given goods to young and old, but not the common land or people's lives. Far and wide through the world I have heard orders for work to adorn that wallstead were sent to many peoples, and soon it stood there, finished and ready in full view. The Hall of Halls.
Herod.
Was the name he had set on it, whose utterance was law. Nor did he renege, but doled out rings and torques at the table. The hall tower, its gables wide and high, awaiting the barbarous burning, that doom abided, but in time it would come, the killer instinct unleashed among in-laws, the bloodlust reactor.
So this has some interesting information. So who does take Halfdan, the father's place? Hrothgar. Is there any indication of, we don't really know why, that's what the question asked, but maybe it does. Any indication of maybe why Hrothgar was chosen?
Well, it says the fortunes of war favored Hrothgar, which means like if they went to war, like he would most likely win.
So
right?
he's probably proven himself as a
Right.
warrior, and that's why maybe he was picked. Good answer. What's the other thing that he does besides be good at war? And notice lots of soldiers want to join. A lot of them sign up. What was the other thing he did? He builds. That's what kings you'd see in the Bible. But they would win battles, and they would build towns, and they would build towers, and they'd build palaces. He does the same thing. Did you notice how it mentions God here? I want you to remember to circle, if you can. You'll circle God. It says, where does it say that? His God-given goods to young and old. He would dispense. Notice what he does with his money. When he wins, and what does he do with his money? He shares it. That's the treasure giving. So if you want to make note of that, that's what a good king does. He shares the wealth with those who helped him earn it. Also on the previous page, it said the Lord's keeping. That's when Shield died. So I think 5 times already in the book, God is mentioned. Oh, and circle the name Herod, Herorot. Herod is the name of his palace / temple / mead hall. Yes, in fact, that's what they call it, a mead hall. The word Herod, it's the name of his palace is called. What is mead? Do you know what mead is?
It's a drink. I know it's alcohol.
Doesn't it involve honey? Not really.
Probably does. Involve what? Honey? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it is probably alcoholic, probably something like beer or something. So you see this is something a lot of people would enjoy, this hall. But at the very end of that, and this goes on to question number 6, you don't hear the name yet, but you're given a first description of Grendel. So, what do we call this? When all of a sudden he's won the battles, he's built the hall, but now at the very end of that passage, it talks about the hall is towered, it's gave one waiting a barbarous burning. That doom abided, but in time it would come. The killer instinct unleashed among in-laws. What do you call that when all of a sudden everything's going great, but there's this little hint that something's going to...
Foreshadowing.
Right, I would label that. That's the kind of thing you can write down. You can say the word foreshadowing, draw an arrow. I'm really encouraging you to do that. That's what we are teaching in AP literature. We're teaching, the AP experts say the best way to get better at reading is to write in your book, is to annotate, because that trains your mind to look for these things. All right, so there's trouble on the way. Tate, would you start at the top of 9?
Then a powerful demon fell prowler through the door, nursed a hard grievance. It allowed him to hear the din of the loud banquet every day in the hall. The heart being struck in the clear song of a skilled poet tongue with mastery of man's begin. How the Almighty has made the earth a gleaming plain riddled or girdled with water in his splendor. He set the sun and the moon, the earth's lamplight, lanterns for men, and filled the broad lap of the world with branches and leaves, and quickened life in every other thing on earth.
All right, so we're still looking at question number 6. Again, we're not given a name, but this is Grendel. So what does this section tell us about Grendel? What is he like? Anna Gray.
It's like a powerful, like, sinister thing person.
Yeah, thing person.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to describe. What is the one word, though, that tells us what he's most like?
A demon.
A demon. If demons take shape, they took a shape, then it might look like Grendel. But anyway, so he's a powerful demon. What scene? And I mean, notice God again for the 6th time mentioned. He says, "How the Almighty had made the earth," and so forth. Do you have any indication of what he's angry about? He seems to be prowling around Herod and angry. What does he seem to be angry about? What does it suggest here? It harrowed him to hear the din of the loud banquet every day in the hall, the harp being struck, and the clear song of a skilled poet who was singing about God. So what seems to, it said it harrowed him, it bothered him, it attacked him, it made him, yeah.
Like he was jealous that he wasn't there.
Yeah, he's either jealous or he hates people, I don't know, but when he hears people singing about God, he gets angry. That's basically what it said, right? The guy's singing about God, and it made him angry. So this takes us all the way back to the beginning. This is, and he's a demon. Demons hate God. And then we'll see what he does. So, Jack.
So times were pleasant for the people there until finally one, a thing out of hell, even forced his evil in the world. Grendel was the name of this grim demon, haunting the marches, marauding the realm of the deep. The desolate sins he had dwelt for a time, in misery he banished monster. Cain's clan whom the Creator had outlawed and condemned about that. For the killing of Abel, the eternal Lord had accepted the crown. Cain got no good from committing that murder, because the Almighty had made him enemy to deeply out of the course of his exile there sprang orcs and elves and evil phantoms and the giant too who strove with God time and again until he gave them the reward.
I think I counted 4 times in that passage where God is mentioned. So now we're up to about a 9 or 10.
The creator, eternal, almighty, and
Yeah. So don't you get? It seems like this is a struggle between seems like this is a struggle between good and evil, between the devil and God.
And it's interesting how like they tie like the Bible, you know, like with King
Yeah, that was my question. We, yeah,
What time do we do?
we're supposed to leave at 9 o'clock.
Oh, so it's not-
8:55.
It says 8:50.
8:50, we gotta go. We gotta go. All right, so don't forget what we're doing. You need to start studying those words, studying the vocabulary, and I think you go straight to the gym. So we'll see you tomorrow.